Hello everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time visiting my channel, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by, and if you are a returning viewer or subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. In today's video, I wanted to talk about something that's a lot more relatable that a lot of people may be going through. I myself, I'm currently in it, experiencing it, and I would love to kind of share some things that I have been doing that has been truly working for me, and also share about some things that have truly just not worked. I don't know if you've probably come across a video, maybe you saw it as an ad before this video or any other video, where there are people who are just trying to sell you something, selling you a course, telling you you're able to make $5,000 in a day, how I make $100,000 a month in this business that I learned in just 1 week. Seriously, be for real, like seriously. So I do have some experience with kind of falling into the trap of those, how do I want to put it, that trend of the hustle culture, trying to trigger in people to feel like, your 9 to 5 is just that hamster wheel of things that's just not going to work out in the future. And if you don't do this, you're probably going to end up broke and just living on the streets, and things are just not going to play out for you. Like seriously. So in today's video, I wanted to talk about a different strategy, or something that's a little bit, I tried some things and it obviously failed. And I wanted to come on here and tell you that a lot of these things that they're pushing in front of you, if you're constantly seeing it all the time, it's probably fake. They're most likely trying to sell you the course or something else, and not necessarily the result of what it is they're talking about. That is true, because if you do actually go into a lot of the failure rates and a lot of these things they're selling, definitely terrible. So I wanted to kind of share a few things. So 1, make sure you're able to find your 9 to 5 or your day-to-day job that you love, because if you're able to love doing it, you're at least going to love showing up every day, and realizing that your income, your current income, is your best wealth building tool. You don't have to quit it to go do something else. A lot of people find themselves doing that, and it has totally crushed them. And like I said in the beginning of the video, I wanted to share a few things that's definitely worked out for me, and that's something I'll continue to do, and hopefully that it's something that could really help you. First things first is being able to find a career, or a 9 to 5, as you would, however you want to put it, a job that you truly love and will really pay you well. Not necessarily that you truly love it. You could just find something that you're really good at, or you're pretty good at doing the job, and you can get the best pay for it. A lot of the time, yes, the 9 to 5 is honestly just a contract. They're paying you for your time or your service, and in turn you're getting paid for it. So take advantage of that resource. If you have the ability to do a job, that's okay to start that way, because that way at least you're able to build income. One of the things that I did was utilize the income that I have to help sustain and build the life that I want, and also help build the life or the future that I want to create. And what do I mean by that? First, your income. It has to be able to afford your current lifestyle. If it's not, your lifestyle is a little bit over the board. And a lot of the mistakes that people tend to fall into is that once their income goes up, their lifestyle goes up. I myself also falls into that trap, and sometimes my husband and I, we have to kind of hold ourselves accountable and talk about it. And say, hey, let's not do this. This is not a time to get a new car. This is not a time to get a nice fancy apartment or whatever. Let's make sure that we're in a good place financially before we make those moves. We have sacrificed a few things in the past to just make sure that we're able to be in a place that we're more comfortable with. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't be, create a good life for yourself. You absolutely deserve it. You're working hard towards it. So definitely make sure that at least you're enjoying your life now. That's what gives you the motivation, at least, to be able to want to create a better life in the future, or just something that's going to be a lot more sustainable for you, that would allow you to take control of your time and control of just how your day-to-day goes. I think a lot of us, it's not necessarily that we just hate our job. It's just the feeling of not being in control of our time for the day. We are literally showing up to a place that maybe necessarily we don't want to show up to that day. Doesn't mean we can't do the job, we just don't want to be there. And as humans, free will is something that's a part of us. And sometimes when you feel like you're obligated to show up to a job or to show up to a meeting that you don't want to be at, it starts to feel upsetting, and it feels like you're not really fulfilling yourself or your life in a way. So make sure that you're at least able to find a career that can sustain your life right now and also sustain or help build your future. And so now let's move into the future part. I think one of the things that you want to make sure that you're able to at least achieve is that, yes, sustain your life right now. Make sure that you have a budget. You're able to finance your housing, your food, your shelter, your clothing, your other activities or things that you love to do. And then also think about, hey, what do I want to afford myself in the future? And what are some things that I need to start doing right now? Very nice things that your current 9-to-5 tends to offer is like, retirement contribution and support. Something that you can start to do is utilize and start maximizing those contributions and also maximizing the match that the company does for you. What that does is that it helps start to stack a lot of, that future finance that you may potentially need. Obviously, there's some different types of investments that you're able to access now and some that you're able to access once you're retired, more so like when you're in your 60s or when you reach a qualifying age to be able to get that money out. So make sure that you're also taking advantage of those tools as well. One of the nice things that comes with a typical 9-to-5 job is that you get insurance benefit as well. So take advantage of that. Make sure that you're doing your year-to-year health screenings, any procedures that you need to have now that would potentially help you out or save you in the future. Make sure you're taking advantage of that right now, because sometimes in the future, if you don't have those insurance, you're going to be paying a lot of those expenses out of pocket. So that is also another thing you can start taking advantage with your current job and utilize it now that you have a current 9-to-5. Another thing you can start to do is create a separate investment account outside of what your employer, your current company offers you. Whether it's setting up a brokerage account where you can invest in the stock market or the S&P 500, index funds, mutual funds, all those things, you can create a separate brokerage account that allows you to do that. You can also start to figure out, like, does it make sense for me to start a business? Is there something that I want to be doing in the future? Because if you're not working, what are you going to be doing in the future? What is something that you want to take control of and what it is that you want to do? In my position, I love to create content. I started a media company. I registered it. So that's something that you can go ahead and do. You can go ahead and register a business, whatever it is that you want to start. Doesn't mean that you have to start kicking off the business or quit your job right now. You can go ahead and, create, tiny little changes or little things that you can start to do during the weekends, during your 5 to 9, after your 9-to-5, to start building that for you. Because those little steps that you start to take today can really, really create the future that you want. And it's really those little times that you can invest in it, those little amounts of money that you can set aside to invest into the business that can really, really, really help you. So that whole advice of like just quitting your job right away and starting a business that you have no footing on, you have no investment, you have no supporters, you have nothing, really can be detrimental to a lot of people. And I don't really understand why a lot of influencers and a lot of business people are advising people to do that, because that's just terrible advice. So make sure that, like I said in the first point, your life, your current income or whatever career it is you have right now is able to sustain the life that you have now and help build you the one in the future. And then make sure you're taking those little steps while you're currently, enjoying your career, building your career to help also create that life. There's also times in your life that you can take gap years. You can take like sabbaticals. You can step away from the 9-to-5 because of either the income you've saved or set aside or just some of the investments that you already have working for you. A lot of these investments tend to already start to give out dividends, and a lot of people are sustaining their lives on dividends. With the business that you're starting, you can start to get dividends or returns on it while you're also working your 9-to-5. It may be very, very difficult, but time management truly, truly comes into play to making sure that you're managing your time really well, to help you make sure that you're successful in your career while also building, the future that it is that you want to build. So that when the time comes where your business or your side gig or whatever it is you want to call is sustaining your future or sustaining your life and able to, sustain you for the long term, then maybe you can start having those conversations about quitting your 9 to 5 or quitting your current day job. So please and please don't fall for the scams. Don't fall for the gurus. Gurus in quotes, because I don't know what university or what education it is that you went to make you feel like you're a guru, because a lot of the times they're not honestly telling you the truth. They're not telling you the truth about how it is they're making their money or how it is that they're sustaining their lives. So make sure that whatever it is you're trying to do to retire from your job or leave your job early to start taking control of your time and your day and your future, just make sure that you're very, very strategic about it, right? So overall, what it is we spoke about in this video. 1, make sure that you have a good career, a good 9 to 5 that you're working on or that you're currently working that's able to sustain your current life and also help build your future. 2nd, make sure that you're currently investing. You're putting money in places that will help you long term, whether it's retirement, whether it's index funds, whether it's just a separate brokerage account, or whether it's also launching a business. And also to the next point, with the business that you're launching, make sure that you're investing the little time that you have or times that you have outside of your 9 to 5. Don't try to do both of them at the same time, because a lot of people get in trouble for that and you could get fired. So that's not something I said. So whether it's working on it on the weekends or 5 to 9 after you return from work, just make sure that you're being very, very strategic about the business it is that you're starting and making sure that it's able to start bringing in dividends before the conversation of, oh, okay, let's create a plan to quit the job, or let's create a plan to, shift from being a 9 to 5er to an entrepreneur. Because trust me, I'm sure a lot of entrepreneurs will say it. The entrepreneurial life is not easy. It is not a 4 hours a day job. A lot of the time you're grinding every single day. But if you're able to create a well enough business or establish a well enough company or something that can sustain you, you could have a lot of things that could run without you presently being there. So I hope this video was a little bit impactful. It's a little bit different from the videos I tend to put out. However, it was just something that was in my heart. I wanted to share out with a lot of people, just because there's been a lot of noise about all these gurus and all these things that, the media continues to push out, this hustle culture that is very toxic, that is honestly not realistic. It is not doing anybody a good service. So make sure that whatever decision you're making for yourself, make sure you're strategic about it. It's okay to be in the position where you're at. Just make sure that you're being very intentional. You're being very intentional and very financially savvy with just the resources that you currently have so that you can build the future that you want. Well, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.